If you're a parent or an aspiring young founder, I want to start with something very simple. The world young people have grown into is not the one that we grew up in, and the world that you've entered is not the one that school is preparing you for. The rules have changed. AI is moving fast, degrees are getting more expensive, living costs are rising, and most young people are being trained for jobs that might not even exist by the time they graduate. Young people don't want the typical career ladder. They want a life of meaning, a life lived on their terms. Look, we're not anti-school and certainly not anti-university, but it's not the only path. And here's the good news. There is a practical third path between university only and figuring it out yourself. It's about building a real business early with guidance, structure, and support. So today I'm going to show you how that works. So by the end of this session, you'll see exactly how young people can design and launch a real business in 12 weeks while developing the confidence, the identity, independence, and practical skills that school doesn't always teach. If this resonates, I'll show you how you can join at the end. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Charbel. Thanks so much for being here. I grew up in the suburb of Sydney. I was a daydreamer. I was that kid staring out the window, not because I didn't care, but because my imagination never matched the classroom. I tried accounting after school. I lasted 6 weeks. I tried hotel management, finished the degree, and I only lasted 2 weeks in the job. I hated the hierarchy. I hated the rules. I hated the idea that my life would be decided by somebody else's roster. So at 21, I did the thing that you are not supposed to do. A friend and I took over a rundown deli in Sydney's inner west. And within a year, it became one of the most talked about food spots in Sydney. It went beyond being good at business. I discovered something that changed everything. People buy stories, people buy care, people buy meaning, people buy connection. I wrote stories about every single cheese, every product, every chocolate that we had in the deli. I spoke with suppliers, I spoke with some farmers, I spoke with so many different people. I made the products come alive. For about 18 months, we were also the largest retailer of Lindt chocolates in the Southern Hemisphere. Then a major supermarket decided they're going to copy us and crush it overnight. That was my first lesson. Business is alive, it's creative, it is human, and it evolves. It's invigorating. After that, I built and I keep building and building and building digital startups, creative projects, streetwear, agency, an early food delivery service way ahead of my time, even a breakfast cereal brand. I tried that one twice. Some took off, some exploded, some collapsed. But then something else happened. I built Academy XI, Australia's first design and tech school in short form content. Helped thousands of adults change careers in 10 to 12 weeks. Real world, real skills, and real outcomes. And I had this realization, if adults can do this, young people can too. Sorry to break it to you, oldies, but young people are faster, sharper, more curious, more worldly, and far less afraid. They just need structure and a path. That's how Young Founders was born. It's everything I've learned from building businesses, leading innovation in some of the largest brands in Australia, UK, USA, and Singapore, teaching thousands of people and growing forward for 30 years. It's all distilled in a step-by-step system that people can actually follow and succeed with. So there are 3 traps that almost every young person falls into when they're trying to start a business. And it's not only young people, it's anybody who's trying to start a business. The first trap, waiting for permission. School trains for compliance. Young people learn to put up their hand, they wait for approval, and they follow instructions. Business is the opposite. No one tells you it's time to start. No one gives you permission. So people wait, and then the world moves beyond them. The next trap number 2, is consuming instead of creating. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, podcasts. There is endless information, but watching content is not the same as building capability. There is a saying that you cannot learn to swim by reading about water. Information without any sort of action can often produce overwhelm without any results. People are drowning in advice, but they don't know what to do first, second, or third, and that kills momentum. Now, the next trap is a big one. It's building a life that isn't theirs. People can copy trends, dropshipping, crypto, reselling, whatever is hot on social media, but it doesn't match. It doesn't match their personality, their strengths, their energy, the way they naturally like to work. This leads to burnout, boredom, or worse, getting a real job. So what the Young Founders does is that we solve these 3 traps by giving people a guided path, a clear sequence, a system that begins with their identity, who they are and what their real power is, and builds towards a real business that fits them. This is not generic entrepreneurship content. It is not theory. It's not watch my 45 videos and good luck. It's a step-by-step structured approach to building a business. And it's built directly for how young people think and learn. So what I'm going to do now is show you what this Young Founders program is all about. Now, there's these worksheets and these activities that It's a step-by-step process to help people build a venture that matches them. This is the activity sheets that are also in the course itself. So there are videos. There's over 100 video lessons, and they're short, anywhere between 3 to 5 or 6 minutes. And each lesson has an activity, which we'll go through in a second. There are multiple phases in this program, and there's 12 core phases starting from the real world right through to graduation. Plus, there's a whole lot of bonus content that you will not find anywhere else. So the first phase is the real world is the best teacher. And what's important about this is getting out into the real world, observing, seeing what people are doing, understanding that what people say is often not the same thing as what they do. You're observing, you're seeing what triggers you, what excites you, what interests you. You start to see where people are feeling challenged and where they might be experiencing different problems in the world. So this is for you to go through and register a whole lot of different things, from problem spotting, looking at who you meet, any specific things that pique your interest, okay? And one of the more important things is, what's your why? Like, why is it that you're doing this? Because when things get tough, and invariably they do, whether you're at university, whether you're at school, whether you're starting your own business, the first thing that you've got to come back to is why you're doing this in the first place. So the next phase is ideas. Now, this is a really big one. And what we did here was build a system for you to be able to either start with the idea that you already have, or you may have a fuzzy idea, or you may not even have an idea at all. Now, one of the things is that you want to select the type of business you want to create. Is it a physical business, say like a cafe, a food truck, a retail business, getting out there doing dog walking, grooming, whatever it might be? Is it a digital business? Are we talking agency, content creation, whatever it might be? Or you might be building a digital SaaS product, SaaS being software as a service. It could be an app, it could be a desktop application. And then we go through and start to look at what exists in the world that you can actually borrow from. It might be the same industry or the same ideas that you might be looking towards, or it could be something completely different. You start to look at how do you evaluate the ideas? So what are the ideas that you have? Do you really care about it? Does it solve a genuine problem? Can you find out, is there demand? Can you start? And is it something that you can pull together that becomes uniquely you? Okay. And that's, and then the next bit would be what inspires you. Anything from technology to any sort of active type of content. So what are the personal interests that we have in here? And they're easy to complete. Then what we do is we start to look for patterns in what it is that interests you, and we start to map it back to all of these things in here, and also all of the observations that and all the observations that you've made out in the real world. What we then start to do is look at, we've got a whole lot of challenges that the world is experiencing right now. And looking at this health, food and environment, we've got the problem, what type of business it could be, how you might be able to think about it from your perspective. But then building from your personal interest, we've created a whole series of prompts for you that you can actually then apply and actually start to get closer and closer to what it is that you might be creating as a business. Now, the next thing we want to get to is researching with humans. It's so important to actually see what people are doing and observe and speak with them, to learn a bit more about what motivates them, what frustrates them, what inspires them. And you start to get a picture about your audience and the types of things that could fit into your idea canvas. We look at the world closer to the market that you're going to establish yourself in. So this is a competitor snapshot. You start to bring in together the list of your skills, your curiosity and experiences. And there's a whole lot of sub-activities in here to start bringing together things that are so uniquely you that only you can do it. Okay. And then through here, we look at the idea. Is it being done? Can you explain it, etc.? So there's a whole lot of reflections and activities that we're doing here, again, to help you get to a specific idea that matches who you actually are. And then the next phase, we go into the offers. So how do we construct an offer? What makes an offer? How do you build it? What are the cheat sheets to create an offer? Your ideal customer is. This is vitally important. So you'll have started to get a sense from the earlier phase. And then we move into brand design. How do you build a brand without spending a fortune, either low cost or no cost whatsoever? So we've got everything from the brand energy, the things that you want to be known for, how to develop a name, some ideas on how to create a name in here, what you want to be known for, how do you summarize your brand in a single statement, and how do you actually build it with little or no budget? The next thing is making sure that you can actually take what you've already done, so establishing what excites you, who you are, what is going on in the world, what you want to solve, what the ideas are, and the type of brand that you're creating. And then we start to build into how do you get it out there into the world? So everything about making it memorable. What's the beginning? How do you actually get started in the marketing space? Building your first website. And there's a whole lot of links in here to help you build something really quickly. Looking at what sort of metrics you're going to measure, the channels that you're going to focus on, getting people to do the work for you, getting a bit cheeky out there in the guerrilla marketing approach, and then creating communities, etc. So there's a whole lot in here that is so useful. And again, really simple to do because all of these are an individual worksheet and there's a video that goes with them. So remember, every video is only 3 to 5 or 6 minutes long. There's a couple that might go on for about 8 minutes, but each of them has a downloadable worksheet. And then what is next? So how do you make money on and with purpose? And one of the things that I know is that people often have a very difficult relationship with money. Okay. And what we want from you is to understand that there are beliefs that we all carry, and how do you break through those beliefs to actually understand that money is a tool that you can actually use to grow and to do a lot of good in the world. How do you construct your pricing? How do you actually determine your own value? We're looking at this building you as a human being, building your business and shaping you as a founder. So this is all stuff that flows into the next thing. Okay. And then we look at systems, and it's so important. The Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about systems and how systems are the thing that ensures that you can grow into. And then the next bit is about the legalities and the accounting, all the important bits around there. And if you are interested in going global or setting up abroad, we've got some tips in here as well. And then taking it to the next level. So you've started to generate some income, you're earning a bit of money. And what are the things that we can do to support you with the momentum and growth? And again, there's a whole lot of really excellent, easy to find, easy to follow activities in here. Now, I know I'm skimming over this because there's a lot in here and I could spend hours and hours going through it. And we start to go back into the whole mindset and tapping deeper into who you are as a human being, and then integrating you as a full person, how you talk to yourself, how you observe the world, everything about the traps that we all find as people who've started businesses before. And this is a really powerful section that starts to shape more of who you are as a human being. Because I have this thing where as you build a business, you build yourself. And this is something that is fundamental to you as a human being, because the thing is that you will be a different person from the time you start, complete all the activities, launch a business, start making some money. You will see yourself changing. And this is what it's all about. And then we graduate. Okay. And then we've got the more bonus tips. So AI being your co-founder, how do you actually use AI in a powerful and a proper way to support you. A whole list of young people who are already doing things. So you will find so much inspiration in this. How to start to become more visible in the world. And then the digital nomads, because if you've chosen a business that allows you to be a digital nomad, got some tips in here that is really helpful and starts to show you around the world where you can actually get into. So what we've got here, so in summary for this, what's involved in the program, there are 3 effective stages in this, okay, 3 arcs. The first arc is building the person and the idea. The second arc is building the business. And then the third arc is building the founder. So these are 3 absolutely powerful and essential sectionings of the program. All right, let me say something before we finish up. You can absolutely try to piece this together yourself. Some young people will, but most won't. And it's not because they lack talent or ideas, but it's because there's a lack of structure, encouragement, and accountability, and literally the step-by-step process on all the activities that start to build you into the founder. Young founders give you clarity. It's a clear sequence, confidence, momentum, and support. So let me recap what's in the program. So in 12 weeks, you're going to design, test, and launch a real business built around who you are. What's included? In the full 12-phase curriculum, there's 100 plus lessons, each 3 to 5 or 6 minutes long. A couple of them are just a little bit longer than that. There's 100 plus worksheets, templates, and frameworks that do the heavy lifting for you. So there's a proprietary idea mapping framework so that you never have to start with a blank page. There's brand and marketing guidance ready for you to start and customize, not build from scratch. There's AI co-founder prompts and workflows so you can move faster with support. There's real-world examples from young founders making impact, step-by-step guidance at every phase, ongoing access so you can move at your own pace. And who's it for? Young people aged sort of 15 to 29, although age matters less than readiness, intent, and curiosity. And this is for parents who want their young person to build independence, capability, and confidence early. Now, the regular price is going to be around about $1,200. If you sign up today, you're going to get advantage of our webinar only pricing. Click below for the pricing and it will make you smile. This is the introductory intake and it is the best price the program is ever going to be offered at. So click the button below this video and enroll at the webinar price. Thank you so much for your time. But before you go, there are some questions, okay? So one of the first questions that I often get is how much time do I have to put into this? I recommend about 2 to 3 hours per week as a minimum. See, the lessons are short. They're 3 to 5 or 6 minutes each, so you can fit around school, work, or life. But the thing is that the more you engage, the faster you build. This is not about clocking hours. It's about consistent forward movement. Now, the next question is, do they need an idea before joining? No, people maybe don't have an idea. Maybe they've got a fuzzy idea when they start, but that's fine because it's exactly how we begin. So we're going to take you through that proprietary idea mapping framework that turns your interests, strengths, and curiosity into a real business idea that actually fits who you are. So you've seen the outline of the course. So if you already have an idea, we're going to take it a little bit further. We're going to help you validate and build from there. And what if you've already started something? Great. That's an awesome spot because what we can do with you then is help you sharpen, structure, and turn some earlier momentum into something that is next level. Overall, the thing is that people start almost anything with energy, but without a system, we don't progress. We're going to give you both. Now, the next question is, what if you don't finish or lose interest halfway through? So the program is designed for momentum. Short lessons, immediate action, visible progress. But here's what matters the most. It's not homework. It's building something that you choose, something that reflects who you are. When young people see their ideas come to life, engagement is not the problem. Finishing becomes inevitable. So if you want to learn how the world really works, how to build something that is so you and is able to make you money, to develop the confidence and capability early, and to launch that business that is an absolute reflection on who you are, this is the strongest foundation I know. In 12 weeks, you'll have something tangible to show for your time. Not a certificate, not a grade, not a certificate, not a grade. It's a business that you built. Click the button below and join the journey. Thank you.